Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook, where we share all kinds of fun and interesting and sometimes snarky news about our city, our state, our government. We take a look at your comments, your ideas, your suggestions. We combine it all so that we can put it into place and to work so that we can have a wonderful, connected life here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. It's a pleasure to get together with you every day. And today is Friday. And we have all kinds of fun news. We have all kinds of fun news. We have a little bit of snarkiness, but mostly fun news and more. Oh my gosh, Guadalajara keeps putting together more and more reasons to go visit. And it's become clear to me that there is no more such a thing as an overnight to Guadalajara. I mean, between the things that we already talked about that we want to do there and all the things that I'm going to share today, there's so much to explore in our capital city. And I think I'm going to need several days, and then I'm going to need more days to edit all the walking videos that I want to bring back to share with you. But before we go there, let us start with our usual groundwork. If you are new to the broadcasts, you are more than welcome to let us know by writing the word new in your comment. That way we'll give you a proper welcome. And if you have something truly important that you wish to share, please do so by adding a capital letter Q at the beginning of your comment, and we will be happy to address it during the second half of the broadcast after the weather. But first, let us take a look at the news, and we'll take it from there. Oh, no, those are not the news. Where are my news? Oh my goodness, did I not put my news in the proper place? I'm going to wing it because, no, I cannot wing it because I have a huge amount of, hold on. No, hold on. I need to go get my news notes because I have to tell you a full story. And hold on just a second. Talk among yourselves. Send happy smiles. Let me know where you are broadcasting from. Where you are watching from. And I will have my news notes ready in a second. Talk amongst yourselves. Here they are. Fantastic. We copy, we close, we paste, and it's Friday. These things only happen on Fridays, right? Okay, now we can do this. Starting with the fact that, believe it or not, on March 19, just a few days ago, Puerto Vallarta recorded a historic arrival of 25,822 tourists on a single day. And this is just at the airport. Forget about people that arrived by land. Clearly, if I haven't found a husband yet, even for the weekend, it's simply because I'm not looking hard enough. No pun intended. That's a lot of people, which is great for our city's economy. Then we have to report on our nice friends from the neighborhood living near the Holy Cross Church in Colonia Emiliano Zapata. First, they were unhappy about a gay bar opening across the street from the church, and now they're unhappy because the 9-story tall condo project being built where the bar used to be will make the church steeple invisible. Of course, there is the legality, the legal aspect of the building, which is in question, as this is one of those projects that received a magical permit, construction permit, during the final week of the previous administration. So, where is our eye roller when we need her? Where is she? Well, if I find our, oh, there she is. Oh no, she's not scheduled. She doesn't show in this scene. Well, so we cannot roll our eyes. But just imagine me rolling my eyes. Anyhow, for the first time ever, Puerto Vallarta will welcome both skate and national skateboard, both state, sorry, and national skateboard competitors in the month of April at a state and national competition that will take place at the skateboard park in the municipal stadium. A number of competitors between the ages of 13 and 18 years of age are expected to participate, with the winners hoping to attend an international tournament scheduled to take place later on in the year in France, where the sport has blossomed in the past few years. And speaking of tournaments and speaking of France, Olympic figure skater Donovan Carrillo has confirmed that his luggage never made it in time for him to participate in the World Figure Skating Championships in Montpellier, France, contradicting what was published by the Mexican Olympic Federation, which had published that the luggage had arrived, but indeed it did not. Carrillo has received tremendous amounts of support and empathy from other Mexican athletes, but of course, his scholarship is at stake. Ana Gabriela Guevara, who leads the National Sports Commission, has confirmed that the athlete has to maintain a certain international ranking to maintain his financial support. And while the situation was lamentable, the bottom line is that he needs to maintain that ranking. But the figure skating season needs to end in order to see where he is at. At present time, he continues to receive the scholarship and the support that he was offered. We recall that a few weeks ago, Donovan Carrillo met with our governor, Governor Alfaro, who promised additional support coming from the government of our state. And his state, as we recall, Donovan Carrillo is a Jalisciense. He is from the state of Jalisco. Let us take a look at our weather for this weekend and see what we can expect. The sun is out. Quick, scurry back into the shadow like a good little cockroach. Okay, whatever. I see that it is 26 degrees outside right now. Feels like 27. Humidity is a low 28%, and our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 80 degrees. Our weather forecast for today is going to be a clear day with a high temperature of 30, a low temperature of 17. Tomorrow, as we had reported, a partly cloudy day with a high temperature of 31, a low temperature of 17. And we wrap up the weekend on Sunday with another clear day, a high temperature of 31, and a low temperature of 18. Moving right along, there's not much to report here other than the fact that Vallarta Opina shared this spectacular view produced by the International Space Station of Banderas Bay. There we are. It's clear to see that here's Puerto Vallarta and there's Punta Mita, and Yelapa has to be somewhere around there. Isn't that a beautiful image? I just thought I would share that with you before I tell you a wonderful story. Check out this illustration or this painting. As you can see, it is a number of people from previous times trying to cross a bridge. We see some people, we see some sheep, over here on the right hand side. We see some people bathing over here. And what is this about? Well, let me tell you a story. There used to be a legend about bridges buried under the city of Guadalajara in the Mexicalcingo neighborhood. And these bridges are called El Puente de las Damas, or the Ladies' Bridge. And this bridge or bridges allowed pedestrians to get from one section of the city to another. You see, when Guadalajara was much less of a city, and we're talking about the late 1700s, that's, over 200 years ago, the city had small water streams that ran through ravines, through, oh my God, how do you say that word? Ravines? Well, there was water flowing. Excuse my bad English. There was water flowing from one part of the city to the other through little streams that raised in level during the city's ravine. Ravine? Oh, Paco, just get over it. These little riverets or riverlets overflowed. Thank you. Veins, says Christy. Thank you, Christy. Ravines. Ravines. Thank you very much. I will have to learn this. Anyhow, when the rain came, the river levels rose, and it made it difficult for people to get from one end of the city to another. You guys are awesome to help me with my pronunciation. I love you all. But I will focus on my story now. So it rains in Guadalajara, the river levels go up, and people could not get from one section of the city to another. This, of course, made commercial and social activities difficult, if not impossible. According to legend, this is all a legend so far, a group of Catholic ladies were the benefactors of a bridge that they had built, as their spiritual mentor, a priest called Fray Antonio Alcalde, and his church were located in the southern part of the city and on the other side of the ravine. So this particular priest had a reputation of being rather miraculous, and I'm being serious here. And the ladies wanted to have constant access to the church, so he ordered the construction of this legendary bridge in 1791, and it was concluded in 1798, and the Catholic ladies paid for the construction. But this was just a legend. Nobody knew this existed. People talked about it. Through the next 200 years, the city of Guadalajara grew, and of course there are no bridges to speak of, but you have to keep in mind that the city did not only grow outwards, but it also grew upwards. And in 2016, the bridge, which was once over the land, was discovered, but underground. So between 2016 and today, a lot of work has been put into place in restoring the structure and strengthening it to the point of having to turn nearby streets into pedestrian-only passages to reduce vibration that could potentially damage the structure. And now this new historic space is no longer a legend, and it has opened to the public in the city of Guadalajara and can be visited free of charge. This article features a short video showing what you can expect to see and learn about this new museum, which, as I mentioned before, is located in the neighborhood of Mexicalcingo, which is right here, not far from the downtown area. In fact, if you've been to Teatro Diana, then you've been near where this museum is located, as the museum is located around here in this general area. So this is yet another, oh, thank you. Alan Shepard thinks that ravines are called, Alan, water-filled chingaderas. Well, that's exactly what I was talking about. Anyhow, I just read about this morning, and I think it's absolutely a wonderful bit of news and yet another fascinating thing to explore in Guadalajara, because now this bridge, which used to be above water, above ground, is now completely underground. And the last bit of news that I have to share with you, yet another reason to visit Guadalajara, is the birth of two giraffes at the zoo. The Guadalajara Zoo is calling with new births. Now they are reporting the birth of two giraffes called Hua and Mueti, which means sun and moon in Swahili. The baby giraffes are only 2 and 5 months of age. However, they are now 1.8 meters tall, and that is slightly higher than my own height. So much for them being baby giraffes. And for me, the bottom line, if I may do a recount here, Guadalajara now means the opera, the zoo, the yarn stores, the symphony, the Van Gogh immersive. We also wanted to go to Bed Bath and Beyond, and we want to go to the town of Tequila and get shit faced, and we wanted to go to that other little town that has the crochet chingadera all over the city, which was now officially being inaugurated, and it is a big to do because it's a world national record. So I tell you, Guadalajara is calling sometime soon. I can feel it, and when we go, we will definitely bring our cameras and do all kinds of walks so that we can all enjoy the adventure. And this is what we have for today. Let us take a quick look at your comments and good mornings, which are always wonderful to see, from Fluvial, from New Jersey, from Playa de Oro. I love it. Karen says, I think you had a good time last night. I watched some of the performances online. Indeed, I did. I went to Encanto to watch my dear friend Guda Gabor do her thing, and it was a great, great show because it was more of a variety show. Guda did a few numbers, but then she invited some amazing musical acts to join her on stage. It was truly, truly worthwhile. And it was all live music, and it was not a tribute. No snark intended. It was perfect for me. Let's see what we have. Lots of happy Fridays. Thank you very much. Purum pam pim pum, param pam pim. Karen says, I really enjoyed watching Wednesday's gathering at Whiskey Kitchen. Thank you, Paco, for all your hard work. Well, it's fun, Karen. It's fun to connect people, and it is so fulfilling to create positive and nurturing connections. Of course, my friend Mijal and I went to Encanto together with a couple of other friends. We took an Uber back to our neighborhood, and it must have been close to 10 o'clock at night, and the Uber dropped us off right at the corner where Whiskey Kitchen was. And we could see that Gina was still there with her staff, ironing out some details. And so we figured, let's sneak in there and just say a quick hello. And it was fun. It feels so good to have that neighborhood feeling going on where you go to nearby businesses and you get to know the owners and you have friends that live within walking distance. To me, that's what living in Puerto Vallarta is all about. Let's see what else we have. Tun 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 tun. Michael is still hungover. Where did you go last night, Michael? If you're still hungover, I hope it was a good situation. Javier wows at 25,000 people in one day. Isn't that crazy? I mean, when you think about it, that's a ton of people. That is a ton of people. Let's see. That's why the airport was so crowded that I have been reading over and over lately of how our airport has reached its comfortable level of capacity with arrivals. So we will have to see what happens moving forward. I've read here and there that there's going to be an expansion built, but nothing specific, and certainly nothing in the near future. These things don't happen overnight. Will Guadalajara also receive the Frida immersion? It recently opened here in Chicago and other cities. Thank you for that comment, Gary. I have not heard of the Frida immersion, but I think that sounds absolutely delicious. I certainly hope that if there is now a Frida immersion, that it'll come to Guadalajara as well. I would imagine that if it was put together by the same people that put together the Van Gogh, there's no reason why it wouldn't come near us at one point or another. Um, let's see. Oh my goodness. Ronald reports for our inbound flight, it took 2.5 hours just to get into a cab. That is crazy. That is just crazy. Uh, then came my grammar lesson, ravines, ravines. See, I write these words and I know the words, but when you've never actually said the words before, I stumble. But you guys are awesome. Let's see. But again, I stay with Alan, who described them as water-filled chingaderas. I should have said that from the very beginning, and you would have understood perfectly. Um, uh, Jim is quick to say probably the powerful men needed access to brothels. Well, you never know. You never know. But it's a fascinating theory because, the Catholic Church. Well, it's a fascinating theory. We never know what they were up to. And Catherine, who's been talking about Guadalajara with me, says, I think that's about 3 trips to Guadalajara. I totally think you are correct, Catherine. It's difficult to get away from Puerto Vallarta for long periods of time. But it is nice to know that in our capital city, which is 5 hours away, there is so much to enjoy and so much that, I have to confess, I go to Guadalajara and I know the places that I like to go. And a lot of times I fails to stretch myself beyond my comfort level and go explore new things. Does that sound familiar? That's what we're trying to do here in Puerto Vallarta through Coffee and Headlines. And I would be the first person to not fill that goal when I travel elsewhere. So I will definitely go and explore new places in my next trip to Guadalajara. Uh, let's see what else we have. If Guadalajara gets a Butterfinger Festival, you'll be packing your bags. Yes, and I would be getting myself a huge new wardrobe for the increase in size that I would experience after a while. Let's see what else we have. Diane says, I didn't know some of the live music venues are available online. Viewed the online music last December. Please, if you can, let us know when these artists will be available online. I don't keep track of these things, Diane. My best suggestion to you would be to check out the Facebook pages of the venues and keep track of what performances they make available online and not there. But what I tell you is if last night was available to watch online and it is still available on Facebook, it was a beautiful, beautiful performance. Christine says that she saw the Frida one in Mexico City. It's quite dark, not as joyful as Van Gogh. Interesting, interesting. Thank you very much for sharing that. Kate says, your English is perfect compared to my Spanglish. Well, Kate, you haven't heard me speak English after a couple of shots of tequila. Tommy, it is so good to see you. I was sitting at Encanto with your husband last night, and you're always with us. I will tell you that my dear friends Tommy and Eric, whom I met through Coffee and Headlines, are in the process of moving permanently to Puerto Vallarta. Eric is already here. Tommy's still packing bags in Seattle, but I tell you, Tommy, you are here in spirit, and I look forward to your arrival sometime in the near future. I think most of us have a larger reading vocabulary than a speaking one. Well, I totally agree with you, Dan. When I think my command of English is okay, and there's a lot of words that I know, and through Coffee and Headlines, all of a sudden I find myself running into words that I never said before, and I'm like, oh shit, how the fuck do you say that? So I totally agree with you. And here is Gouda, the wonderful Gouda Gabor. I'm so glad you're here, dear friend. It was great to see you last night, Gouda. You go out of your way to create this wonderful combination of laughter and quality music and quality guests. Last night there was local musicians. There was a music director from Broadway that has orchestrated a bunch of Broadway shows who just showed up. There was there were cabaret singers. It was just great. It was beautiful. So I thank you, Guda, for spending so much effort, not only entertaining but also empowering younger talent to be on stage with you. And of course, among them is the wonderful Seth Sykes, who has his last night tonight at the Palm, I believe. And Guda has one more show next week. I hope it is on Thursday because I would imagine it's the same day and time as your show last night. If you want to go see a great variety show with quality music, performed live, no tribute, just great music, great cabaret music with great guests, I strongly recommend Guda's final performance. And this, my friends, brings us to the end of today's Coffee and Headlines. One more, and we have another week down. Yay! I thank you, as always, for your company, and I thank you for your great questions, your great ideas and suggestions. And last but not least, Luna and I, as always, thank you for your wonderful support. I hope you have a great weekend, and I hope to see you again soon. And if not, I hope to see you again tomorrow. And if not tomorrow, I hope to see you again sometime soon. Stay kind, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a good time.